the 1960s, let's say, we had it and we used to just do normal packages. Maybe you're moving something from Kisumu to Embu, maybe you're moving something from Meru to Naivasha or whatever. So you would obviously make sure there's a demand, and then you source the item, and then the person purchases, and then you start delivering the package from one place to the other using normal transport. Then we came into the 1980s, where we moved from fragmentation into consolidation. In consolidation, companies started now putting all their packages into a warehouse, and then all the materials are handled, they are sorted and everything, and the packages are then physically distributed. In the 1990s, then we started looking at integration, and this is where logistics started coming in. And our panelists will talk a bit more around what that looks like. What do we mean when we talk about logistics in the delivery business? In the 2000s, we started moving towards now value addition. And this is where we started looking at even the supply chain management. As I've said, we will have panelists talking about the role of technology now in delivery business, the role of marketing and selling, the role of strategic planning, and maybe looking at finance angles of the delivery business. And finally, we have reached automation. We now even have apps. You have apps where you can go in and order for something to be delivered, and you can track the package end to end. So there's been a really clear evolution of the delivery business. And now, post-COVID and in the new normal, there are some interesting things coming up as well. And we are looking forward to hearing what are those interesting things that have happened. But there are some challenges that have faced the traditional logistics and courier services and in the delivery business. Number one is a cumbersome process. I know for sure I have so many stories to tell, but I love to tell the story of when I needed my plantain delivered from Kampala to come to Nairobi. And I will never forget the first time I tried, they came really well from the same bus company. The second time I tried, they came half of the product that I had bought. And I asked, what happened? And they said, on the way something happened and we lost one of the packages and everything, so we could only bring half, and I had paid full. That was a real mess. And I remember I was so upset and everything with the delivery company and everything, but I really gave them serious feedback. Then the changing customer expectations. There are many changing customers' expectations today as the generations are changing, as the times are changing, as the world is changing, even from a health averse to a health conscious world. Delivery business is booming. They're saying some of the delivery business people are actually the COVID winners in terms of business. As restaurants, pubs, different places have been closed down, delivery people actually have access. I think even here in Kenya, ni watu wa delivery ndio wanaweza unaona usiku ama unaona wapi wanapeleka dawa kwa nyumba, wanapeleka hiyo, wanafanya hiyo. Now, can you imagine the challenge of delayed delivery? It can be very, very painful. And I know when sometimes we have ordered for food and we are busy on the phone, I can see my daughters all the time asking, are you near? Are you nearby? What time are you getting here? Have you arrived? Have you? And then lengthy paperwork. Some people have paperwork in their delivery business, some people don't. But where they do, why do we have so much paperwork? And there's a high cost to it, and sometimes a poor feedback system. But let me talk about this cost. Umetuma mtu wa boda akuchukulie kitu mahali, ama mtu wa gari akuchukulie kitu mahali akupeleke to another town. Maybe you are in the locality of Kitale or whatever. And then the person comes, you agreed 1,000 shillings. The person comes 2 hours late and tells you, sikujua ni mbali hivi. I didn't realize how far it is. So, instead of charging 1,000, I'm going to charge you 1,800. Anthony, Boniface, Eli, tell us, why is this happening? How can you change the price at the door of the customer? These are the things we want to look at, and there is a poor feedback system, and these are some of the challenges that have been facing the delivery. Speed is of the essence, depending on, kama unaona huyu mtu anabeba mboga, these are vegetables. So if somebody is not going to get to a place on time, or imagine we have sent you to the slaughterhouse to maybe buy a mbuzi and deliver it from one place to the other. As an SME owner, how fast do you get your order to your customers will make or break your business. Consumers are becoming more and more impatient than ever, with most of them not being willing to wait a long time for their goods to be delivered. So speed is of the essence. A typical process is a customer will place the order, you pay, or sometimes you'll pay at the door, and whatever items are picked, packed, and the order is delivered. You resolve, the customer is happy. If you don't resolve, the customer will give you feedback. Some of the tips and tricks is to understand the generational difference, and also to use something called last mile delivery, to deliver packages at the last mile. Now, when you're looking at generational differences, and even you look at gender differences, you look at culture differences and everything, and now even when you look at curfew, things have changed. So when you're dealing with a millennial or a Gen Z, they are not as patient as maybe even my generation. I think for us, to be honest, and it's hard to say this, but we've been used to bad service, so we've been taking it for years, and so we've built in shock absorbers. But the young people are extremely impatient, and I think as they continue to be impatient, the delivery business will need to start changing and finding methods to get there faster. So what do we mean when we talk about self-fulfillment? There are pros and cons to this. It is often a great option for the local business or even a large-scale business to use the self-fulfillment approach. Long time ago, we used to say you can even engage your newspaper boy, or you can engage your boda person to actually do the self-fulfillment, because it is accurate, it is door to door, you have full control over the package, it is faster returns. Now, what are some of the things that we'll be looking out for in the delivery business as we go forward? Number one is the changing lifestyles that have happened globally post-COVID. We are offering lots of choice within even one single app. I was looking through different delivery apps. I'm looking at Jumia, I'm looking at even Uber, Bolt, name it. And I'm also looking at people who do not have apps, but they are delivering because their service is good and people know them, or they are local within a community. Mtu anataka to local. Why would I send somebody to bring my mbuzi and I'm using an app when I know my local guy delivery person is very, very credible and can actually do it in Malindi right here, nampigia tu simu na ana deliver. Optimizing for speed, improving services in smarter logistics and faster delivery is a very, very key strategy in the delivery business. We are not paying money, we are paying for convenience. If I've ordered for pizza, it needs to come hot. How do you know whether I have a microwave or not to warm it? How do you know whether I have an oven or not to warm it? So if I want it hot, I want it hot. So that will determine how and where I choose to use the person who is going to deliver it at speed. We are also looking at personalizing the customer experience, and this is becoming a very, very big deal. How do you personalize to different customer needs and different customer requirements? And finally, promoting a no contact. This is a big deal during COVID. Promoting no contact, pickup or delivery. So throughout 2020, we know that people want to be cashless. So labda unilipe na M-Pesa ama Airtel Money, or you find a different way to pay the delivery person or whatever. So do you have those systems in place? Ama bado tu sisi ni wale jua kali, tunaambia customer atulipe na cash, tukifika kwa mlango we start saying we don't have change. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on that. So, in the delivery space, we also need to look at the processes for payment. And the more cashless we are, I think the better. And this one is a big deal for many customers. For those who are using riders for delivery at the moment, their health and safety, and I want to hear from the business owners on this panel. How do you ensure the rider's safety, especially during COVID? Wakishika COVID, alafu watu waseme they are the ones spreading even the COVID or whatever. Or what are you doing to ensure there are some high-risk zones? Are you providing them with hand sanitizers, masks, any other safety materials that can help them? Those are some of the things that we need to think about.
So what are the things that have changed in the past? In the past, the customer, as we're saying, we have a Microsoft a generation that is very, it's called microwave generation. They want to do things very fast. So that means whenever you order something, the customer wants to know that what time what do the rider get to me? Is the rider safe in terms of hygiene? Does he wear a mask and stuff like that? That's two. The other thing he wants to know is that is the rider going to get to my customer on time? And if I give you my goods, for example, if I get you a cake, like there's one time my rider got a cake from a customer, and when he was going on traffic, I think something happened and the cake fell and it was smudged, so he had to go back to get something else. So you can imagine. So you have to be careful in terms of the handling of the goods. You have to be careful in terms of the person who comes to you, and then the rider should be careful in terms of how they handle the customer. You may go to a customer's house to pick something and they had fought with their husband. Depending on how you are talking to them, it's important you talk to them nicely as a customer and show care. And then when you handle your goods, you have to show care. So once the goods are picked by the customer, they need to go to the delivery, to where they're going. Now, how do you handle that delivery? And in transit, the customer needs to feel safe. So he can actually check on the app and see where you are at. And by the time you get to the next site, the customer feels that you're okay. And then when the customer gets the goods, he's given feedback that the goods have got to where they have gone. Now, of course, a few things are changing now with the app. You're just getting doing a request on the app. The apps that now you take a photo of the product that you're sending, so that when the courier comes to you, they know, because you don't want to come to somebody's site and then you're supposed to be delivering a seat. You've come with a motorbike and maybe it needs a truck. So it's very important to be very clear of what you're doing. So what the apps are doing is that you take a photo of the product that you're sending, so that when you do a request, the courier knows what they're coming to pick. At one time, some customer was doing a move, and a pickup came, and apparently the pickup was smaller than what the guy was moving, because the guy was moving the house, but he had said he was just moving. He was not specific. So tabulation is very key. You tabulate what you're doing and then take a photo of the things you're sending, so that when the rider comes, or if it's a truck, they are very, very clear of what is happening. And then, of course, the parking is key. So by the time the rider comes to you, you need to be able to tell them, and that's why the app is so important. You say, I need parking, or I don't need parking, it's already parked, and I need insurance. For example, if I'm coming to you and you're delivering a phone worth 100,000, is that phone insured? If it's not insured, then on the app, you need to be saying, I need insurance. How do you value the insurance? You say the value of the phone is 10,000 bob, or 100,000. You take 2.5% of the value of that product. So the customer feels that you really care, because you're thinking about them. So they know it's a high value good. If something happens, we shall take care of it.